So greetings to you. Greetings. For all those persons who just visit my Amazon.com page, I invite you to read as you visit. Read excerpts from all of the books, all the volumes from volume 1 through to volume 8, and just get a copy on your phone. I'm sure there are times when you are tired of Facebook and tired of social media and you want something good to read. Then instead of scrolling and reading propaganda, reading lies, reading fake news, reading stuff just to get you upset and cause you to use your emotions irresponsibly, then you can have my book on your phone, on your laptop, and you can actually read a chapter every day. Or just read a whole book. Or you can buy a copy and have it shipped to you, to your location, your address. Go to Amazon.com, Prince Ali and the President, and you certainly would have access to all of my books. You support the cause. I still have another 15 manuscripts yet to finalize, yet to publish, but they cost a lot of money. To finalize manuscripts, for persons to do final proofreading, editing, and arranging of your stuff, it costs a lot of money. So by you supporting the books, you not only support the Durga Foundation, but you support my opportunity to produce and to publish the rest of my manuscripts, and of course, to encourage me to write more, to continue to write. We are going to be in a society where everything is automated. There would not be any more human touch. In the next 15 years, all you get is AI, all you get is bots and robots and artificial intelligence, no human touch. So while we have the opportunity to still encourage human beings like myself to produce humanity, to produce the human touch, we need to encourage each other. So I'm asking you to just go ahead and support the book, support the initiatives, so that I can finish and finalize the rest of my manuscripts and write more. There are lots of topics, lots of things happening around the world that can be penned, and many more books to be authored. Welcome to Uncensored Guyana. There are lots we need to talk about. A lot of more information coming out about the president's farm. I'm sure the way the thing is captioned, you know, the way the image is captioned, you're wondering. Some of you are getting nervous. Did Muhammad got to Dr. Prasad? Did he finally get to him? Are we losing one of our champions to the opposition? What other secrets are there about the president's farm? I would expect Dr. Prasad to share with us the truth that he knows. But when you talk about secrets, you're suggesting that maybe something else was covered up, and Dr. Prasad is not comfortable with the alleged cover-up from the alleged government. So he's now deciding that, hey, I'm going to now expose shit that you guys don't know about, which might be bad for the president. So I can literally sense people calling APNU people, Mark Benchcop, the carcass, and say, hey, you need to tune in. I think this guy is going to be with us finally. I think finally he's going to cross over because he got some secrets to share on Ali's farm. Maybe we're not aware of what secrets they are. So let's tune in. Our prayers Our prayers to our demon king Barnum could be finally answered. Dr. Prasad is now leaving the PPP and is going to step over to APNU and take money from Azradin. The Prince of Guyana, the president who is a prince, who likes to cook, likes to feed people, and to my sons and to all your sons, farming is sexy. Forget them girls who don't like and don't think that farmers are sexy or hot. They want the guy who conducts the minibus, the lowlife that conducts the minibus. They want the scrapheads and the scrapes that are racing down the roads and causing accidents in their rented cars. They think those guys are sexy. I got news for you. The most powerful man in Guyana, and by extension, the smartest, most intelligent man in Guyana, who has a beautiful wife, who travels the world, who helped to put Guyana, according to the World Bank, in the club of rich nations, that man is also a farmer. What do you know? And they say farmers aren't sexy. Yeah, farmers are presidents, politicians, businessmen. So you better stop seeing farmers as lowlife, unattractive. They're always dirty, wearing old clothes. You better stop seeing them as that. And start seeing farmers as a means to an end for you, females, because you know women like to eat. Women like to eat. They have an insatiable appetite for anything that comes out of the kitchen. Now, ladies, because women like to eat, somebody got to grow the food. Somebody has to grow the food. Somebody has to rear the cattle. Somebody got to catch the fish. Because the stuff you eat in the junk food market, it's made of chicken, beef, pork, fish, whatever. And it takes according to you ladies, an unattractive farmer to spend the time, invest the money, produce the livestock, grow the food, so that the man who owns the restaurant, the chef, can cook it, and the waiter can serve you. So while you go to these fancy restaurants with your expensive clothing, dashingly whatever, for whatever reason, just to eat, while you have to go through all of that transformation, just to go to a restaurant, to sit at a table, and to eat food that was grown by an unattractive farmer, prepared by an unattractive chef, served by a man you wouldn't date because he's a waiter. Bear in mind that it first started, it was made possible by the same man, the same farmer in muddy clothing, oil all over his skin, smelling like nature, the same man that you wouldn't give a second look to had to produce it. Otherwise, to that, you will starve the fuck to death. Ladies, you will starve. Who is sexy now? The man with a Lamborghini? The man that is showing off gold? The man that is counting paper money? Who is sexy? Or the one that feeds you? The one that feeds you. Because either way, the Lamborghini has to pay for the restaurant food. He ain't growing it. He has to buy just like you. So if the farmer doesn't grow it, where would you eat? I gotta rub this into you. I gotta rub it in. I gotta grind it in. So you women understand. Your values need to be readjusted. Readjusted. The men that you should value and respect and honor first are your fathers. Secondly, farmers. Farmers. The ones who grow food. The ones who grow food. The two men, category of men that you should respect and bow to and always choose first in your life. Keep scrolling TikTok and fantasizing on these men with fake jewelry, fake vehicles, fake this and fake that, and closing your eyes and seeing, oh my gosh, I can see myself next to him in that Porsche. Oh my gosh, I can see myself in the kitchen having a maid prepared food for me that a farmer had to produce. You better revisit your fucking mentality and stop being stupid. Now that I get your attention, yes, there is much more to be said on the president's farm. Much more. Because the PNC, they're not going to stop. They got a new talking point. You see, the asshole dropped the bomb, created a chaos, and he moved on. He moved on. Delete some stuff, but he moved on to the next distraction. And all of his cronies, his paid pundits, they're still hanging around the farm. They're still hanging around the farm. Maybe they waited to see what the president will throw away so they can pick it up. So they can pick it up. So since they are still hanging around the farm, I have to accommodate what they're accommodating. So I want to play for you what you saw and I saw. This video that was released by a man who you can see looks like a farmer. It ain't no profiling or being stereotypical. The man looks like a farmer. Farmers have something about them. Farmers like nurses. You know, when you run into a nurse, you know that's a nurse. When you run into a teacher, you know that's a teacher. There's a certain presentation that comes with them. They have this humane look about them, this peaceful, calm, and caring look about them. So you know that's a teacher, that's a farmer, that's a nurse. The same way when you run into thugs, people who kill people, and they thought the law forgot them, you can feel the energy of heaviness. You can feel the curse. You just want to distance yourself from them. They are heavy, they are painful, because it's all over their faces. Look at the people who commit crime in Guyana. Look at the people the police often catches and post them on social media. Look at them. Your instincts were correct when you ran into those people. You were not judging them or being racial. You just know by the way they look that these are criminals. These are thieves, murderers, and demons. So you know because people carry energy with them. They walk around with energy. And whatever that energy is, if it's peaceful, if it's hugged by nature, if it's God oriented, you can tell. Because you are the recipient of that energy. You can tell. It makes you feel safe. You feel warm around them. You feel comforted. You feel loved. That's what you feel when you are in contact with farmers, teachers, nurses, and anybody who provides care in that sector. On the contrast, the Mohammed's crowd is waning. People just leave the camp. They're leaving because many cannot translate what they are feeling when they are in the company of Ashrin Muhammad. They just know they want to run away. They just know they want to get up and leave. They just know they don't want to look at the guy because of how he makes them feel unsafe, violated, vulnerable. It's like, gosh, I can't, I don't know. There's something about this guy. So it is becoming apparent that he's becoming more and more of a loner. The only person who can tolerate his presence is his sister. Well, if she can tolerate his tongue and his dick, then she can tolerate his presence. So let's get to this gentleman who didn't have to, but he recorded a video which the newscast, the news agencies didn't carry. You would expect them not to. But thanks to those persons who shared it on social media and persons who sent it to me, I thank you. I thank you. So I'm going to play this for you. I want you to listen to the man.
My name is Dietary Arjun. I am a chicken farmer for the
His name is Dietary Arjun. He's a chicken farmer.
Last 30 years.
For 30 years.
In 2013, I purchased chicken at Land Creek at Ali Farm. The farm never exists today, and now, since 2013, President Ali accused that he takes taxpayer money. That is lie. President Ali exists over 15 years in farming. Chicken farm, cash crop farming, poultry farming, fishing farming, cattle farming, and everything. President Ali in farming today, and who know what President Ali, they know by farm, they know at Land Creek, where you do at Land Creek and everything. President Ali always encouraged me and many farmers more, and all the big farmers and the small farmers as well, how to go to the farm and produce production. We used to pay 15 and 18% interest at the bank. And when you take money from the bank, the interest is still come back and hand to you. Now, we only paying 2 and 3%. President Ali do all that for the farmers. Actually, rice farmers, cattle farmers, cash crop farmers, fishing farmers, all. And more other farmers in Guyana purchase chicken. Big farmer and everybody purchase chicken. Not today Ali get farm. President Ali get farm since he's not president yet.
This is public information. This is public information. When President Ali told the country that Ashrin Muhammad is aware of the existence of his farm, years. But why does he conveniently use the information now? Because he was told to do that. But they could have used this information about Ali's farm during the campaign trail, before the 2020 elections, during the 2025 elections. They could have used it. But there was nothing there to use. Because everybody knew, the government of Granger knew, They knew that this man was busy with chicken and fish and all these things for years. But why would you use the private public life of a farmer to use as political weapons against that individual? The time when you should have used that, if you wanted to politicize the whole fact that Ali was in farming, you should have used it during the elections and see how Guyanese responded. See if it will cost him votes. After sharing with Guyanese that this man is a chicken farmer or a fish farmer, it would have helped him secure more votes. But you didn't bring it then. You brought it now. To achieve what? Here, this man, who is one of hundreds of people, and this is why I'm glad this man responded the way he responded, because I threw out the challenge a few days ago that all the people who are connected to the Ali government, the ministers, and all the persons who are fully aware of the president's life, because the President Irfan Ali doesn't have a private life. The only thing private about Ali is when he and his wife is in their bedroom. That's the only privacy they have. Otherwise to that, the man don't have a private life. In his house, in his home in Lenora, people are there in the house 24/7. 24/7. For the president to have privacy, he has to go into his toilet with his phone. There is no privacy of Irfan Ali. He doesn't have that. Everything about him is public. Absolutely everything. So now tell me, you want to say this man was paid to come and make this video? Was paid? How much you think Ali had to pay him to come and say he bought chicken from Irfan Ali since 2013, there got to be millions. He got to pay that man millions, or give the man a massive discount just to admit what everybody else knew. But I threw the challenge out and I said, it is unfair that a lot of you in the Ali government, a lot of you connected to President Ali and his businesses, you know this man has been involved in entrepreneurship forever. Why not come out and say, hey man, why you guys are politicizing this thing for? This man is a businessman. He's a farmer. Even decades ago. I want to emphasize this. Since the fact that a lot of people from the opposite side makes everything about race, I'm allowed to do it too. So let me say this. It matters not what profession most Indo-Guyanese are in. They always have the ambition to do something of entrepreneurship on the side. You have Indo-Guyanese who are doctors, but they're still businessmen. Lawyers, but they're still businessmen. Teachers, but they're still businessmen. They're always selling something. In their backyard, they have a land space, they're farming, they're selling greens, they're selling other produce to the neighborhood. They're always doing something. Because it's a cultural thing with Indians to be busy. To be busy doing something they're thinking about, hey, how can I increase my income? How can I utilize this opportunity? How can I this? So what makes you think that President Ali, who's an Indo-Guyanese, would not be so ambitious? The man is selling cars. He's selling heavy-duty equipment. He's not in the gold business. He's not in the construction business. He's selling food. Food. You think the nation can't do without heavy duty equipment? Yes, they can. We need contractors, yeah. But the businesses that the Mohammeds have gained their massive wealth on, the country can do without it. Because the businesses that the Mohammeds earn their money on, those businesses didn't serve the public. Those businesses serve the private sector, not the public. So Guyanese in no way benefited from the Mohammeds' enterprises. Guyanese didn't benefit. Their friends and family benefit from their business. The gold wasn't sold to the Guyana Gold Board, so Guyana Gold Board didn't get a royalty. They didn't pay taxes on the heavy-duty equipment they imported, the luxury vehicles they imported. So the Guyana didn't benefit. The people who benefited are the person they were in business with. All the fancy yachts and boats and toys, luxury cars and all these things, massive apartments. How did that benefit Guyanese? No, it didn't. It benefited the Guyanese, the Guyana and their friends and the Mohammeds with their friends and family. And who are their friends? The only broke friend the Mohammed possibly had is the Guyanese critic. All the others were rich men like themselves. And politicians they want to corrupt. How did the average Guyanese benefit from the Mohammed's massive empire? It never served the Guyanese interest, not in taxes, not in transparency, not in charity. It never did. Compare that to Irfan Ali. Again, like this farmer said, this chicken farmer, since 2013, he personally was buying live bird and chicken from Irfan Ali's farm. 2013 to now is how much years? 16 years? I mean, 13 years? You're telling me if a man is in business, chicken and other stuff, for 15 years, let's just say that, 15 years. You're saying that he doesn't have a reputation with the banks? The bank hasn't seen his track record in paying loans? He hasn't acquired enough collateral to levy against loans he may want to take? To keep expanding and expanding and expanding? You're telling me that he's not that much of a manager to know how to work and secure and use his investments? You look at the average chicken farmer in your neighborhood. They just have a pen at the back of their yard, maybe 200 or 300 birds. Look at their lifestyle. They got trucks, pickup, they're doing other stuff, and that's all they have. A lot of you love to say that these guys are in drugs because in no way they can earn that kind of income from selling chicken. The point is, look around. So somebody who have a massive scale of thousands of birds, recycle every 6 weeks or whatever it is, come on, man. For all that time, you expect them not to grow or to be ambitious to want to grow? If every farmer in Guyana had to buy land to farm, you wouldn't have farmers in Guyana. This is why you have a lease system. The government leased the land because what is the land there for? Than to cultivate. They lease the land. Anybody can have leased land. Anybody. This man has just said during PNC time, the interest that farmers had to pay back on loans were 18%, 20%, 30%. How can you survive like that? How can you turn over a profit to survive with loans. I told you before, this is why I never pursue bank loans, because of the interest. And to think that I'm going to take a loan from the bank to build a mansion, like they're accusing all of these other ministers of building mansions without loans. You have to have what they call guts. You got to have guts to go to a bank in that time and take loans at that percentage interest per year to say you're going to take loans to build whatever. So I never did it. Because of President Irfan Ali, who a farmer himself, understood the struggles, because he too had to secure loans at 18, 19, 20, and 30% interest. He too had to do it. So when he got involved in government, this is what, when you put the right man in the right place, this is what it does. Ali is not a corporate president. He's not a president that took money from big donors or banks and special interest. Because if he had, there is nowhere he could have reduced, bargained with the banks, pressured the banks to reduce the loans from 18 to 3%. In nowhere. He would have done that. Which country does that? That alone can tell you that a man incorrupt when it comes to the banks. Because the farmers now don't have to go through that humiliation, uncertainty, risk their family's home, risk their properties, risk their children's future by going after loans to kill them. President Ali has made it possible because of his policies, his financial policies, the way he talked with banks and demanded that they don't rip off his people. Now you can go take large loans, tens of millions of dollars loans to build houses, to open businesses, to get involved with the farming industry for an interest rate of 3%, 7%, 2%, and in some cases, 0%. Guyanese can take 3 million and more, 0%. How is that helping the banks? How is that helping special interests? It's not. But it's helping Guyanese. It's helping young professionals. It's helping entrepreneurs. It's helping people who are ambitious, who never thought possible to own a business, to own a home. It's helping those people. And who are those people? They are the voters. They're the voters. The manifesto of the PPP talked about helping Guyanese, making the lives of Guyanese better. All these policies, all these initiatives is helping Guyanese. Oh, that's the secret. The secret is, yes, Irfan Ali has massive loans, but thanks to Irfan Ali's policies, the banks can no longer charge that high interest that he himself struggled with, that any farmer in Guyana, throughout Guyana, can go to banks and get financing for their projects, knowing that they can comfortably pay back their loans. That is one. And secondly, President Ali's government has collaborated with international companies, with countries, with programs to boost the agricultural sector. The focus is on food, sustainability. Look at the world today. Look at what COVID did. Countries practically starved because they had no access to food. Look at what the war is doing. We got to be thankful that Ali has such a policy and he has enacted legislation to support these policies since in his first term. Now he's enforcing it. 1,000 cows. Deal was made with Brazil. 1,000 cows. And that's just the starting. Heifers. It's too bad Muhammad is not a heifer, because he can't produce anything. He's not a heifer. He's a male heifer. Can't produce anything. And his sister is a barren heifer. She stopped producing. But you're going to capitalize. Again, let me say this. The Ministry of Agriculture under Mustafa Mustafa is just extending the vision of the president. And that man is a man who acts. Mustafa gets on the job. Before you think about it, he is there. I am glad he exposed that fake pandit who ruined Gaisuku, who robbed and stole from Gaisuku. I'm glad he exposed that little midget, fake pandit. But the thing is, the president talked about these things for a long time. You think Muhammad bringing some nighttime footage about cows crossing over into Guyana? I mean, for heaven's sake, who has the time to call this man and say, hey, come now. You're going to see some trucks with some cows going into Guyana. Where is it going? I guess it's going to Ali's farm. Since it's on the way to the city, the farm is there at Sue's Lake and so on. Yeah, 300 cows going to Ali's farm. That's the next breaking news. It was a cover-up, a secret. The country didn't know that the government was busy with an initiative for 1,000 heifers when they're pregnant to come to Guyana so they can give birth in Guyana. And as 300 cows pregnant means it's 600. 300 babies they'll give birth to. Then you have another 700 on the way. That's how many cows. In the next 2 years, Guyana may have almost 5,000 Brazilian breed cows, which has a better quality of meat, which will taste better. So all them ladies who like their steak and who like to go and get their fancy meal, you get a better quality of meat. Thanks to farmers that you don't think is sexy. That's the breaking news. How can you hide the transportation of 300 cows? How? Ajrudi Muhammad, that let him roll you're talking about. Why don't you show your people how much of the road is already constructed? And they haven't reached that part yet that you get your leaked footage from. They ain't reached there yet. But why don't you show the how many 100 plus miles of road already paved, asphalt, concrete? Why didn't you show that? The country knows there's a large portion of that road to Brazil. It's almost finished. But you don't show that. The PNC don't show that. So you keep pushing in people's mind what is present. Oh, look at the big holes in these roads. Look at the big holes in these roads. No, just turn the camera around and show the other piece. You wouldn't do that, because it defeats your whole purpose of propaganda. You were one of the families, Ajrudi Muhammad, that destroyed the roads. Remember that. You were one of the people. You were one of the biggest gold mining operations in Guyana, the biggest, with 80,000 acres of government land, state land. How much royalties you have paid on those land? How much rental you have paid the government or the state for those land? Tell us how much you have paid so far. All the heavy duty equipment that you have imported for your businesses, how much roads did you build after you damaged it? How much did you help fix after you damaged it? 0 kilometers of roads have you ever invested in, Mohammed, to build after you damaged it? No, you always throw it on the governments. First was the PNC government, now is the PVP government. Gotta build roads that you helped to destroy. So because you're not the one transporting these heifers, these cows from Brazil, you're jealous? Because it's in your trucks? You're jealous? What you thought? That the cows were going to Ali's farm? That's what you thought? That Irfan Ali was getting the cows and, oh, you can't hide this one. You can't hide this one. Caught you, got you. Look, 300 cows en route to Ali's farm, because on their way to the city, they have to pass through Linden, Suslike, and they have to pass Ali's farm. How much are going to be diverted to Ali's farm? You had your people there, Mohammed. You had your spies waiting with cameras to see which truck is going to turn in to Ali's farm. Unfortunately, President Ali was not aware that trucks were on their way to Guyana from Brazil with cows. He didn't know that. They hid it from him. They hid it from him. It was a conspiracy not to let the president know these cows were coming. Because if he knew, he would want at least 10 for his farm. So they hid it from the president. Shame on you people. Minister of Agriculture, shame on you. How could you do that, President Ali? How could you do that? You made everybody else know you had a deal with the Brazilian for 1,000 cows to help the local producers. And you meant you kept this away from your president? Your president didn't know that these cows were on their way? Shame on you, Mustafa. What's the matter with you? I hope the president now gets the information. I hope the president watches my show and he got the information that these cows were on the way to Guyana and nobody told him. You see how stupid it sounds? Yeah, when it comes from Muhammad, that's how stupid it sounds. Everybody knew this. We also knew that the government, through the Ministry of Agriculture, had a project they were busy with last month for 20,000 birds. 20,000. The government collaborated with local producers, young professionals. Remember, before the elections, the president had a breakfast session in a local restaurant where he talked with young entrepreneurs, encouraging them to get involved in agriculture. Remember that? Most were black men. When he was telling them, hey, the government is going to give you whatever you need, get involved in poultry, get involved in this, get involved in that, it was broadcasted. Yeah, well, that same project, it wasn't politicking or for votes. That same project started then and continued. You see the massive infrastructure that was built? I guess it belongs to Jagdeo. I guess it belongs to, okay, Mustafa. That bird farm is Mustafa's. Nonsense. 20,000 birds last month. Who were the beneficiaries? A lot of the young farmers were black men. Let them tell the country how much they paid, how much it cost them. Let them tell the country as against their profit. A faster cash crop is rearing birds. You don't have to wait until stuff grow, then to reap. There are a lot of black people in Guyana, a lot, hundreds of black people that are in the chicken farming business because it's a faster means of a turnover. Hundreds. And hundreds are a part of that same project where 20,000 birds were given via the government to the local farming market. And next month, you might get another 30,000. Who are benefiting? Who are benefiting? You wouldn't hear this from the opposition camp. They are stuck on stupid. They are stuck on stupid, stuck on farm. So I want them to understand. Shedrod Duncan, Ladyboy Mahipol, I guess Orby Norton is too drunk to speak. He is too drunk to speak. So he's giving the platform to the rest. Hey, you guys go do your thing. Go spread your propaganda. I want you fellas to understand that women, this would work with you. You see, I wanted to say to the PNC press conference table, I wanted to say to them that women think farmers are sexy, but I realize I'm talking to the wrong crowd. The wrong crowd. I got to talk to myself because Ali's already a farmer. Mustafa is already a farmer. I never heard them accusing Jagdi of being a farmer. Jagdi, you better go into farming. You better start doing some farming. Why is it they never accuse him of that? They didn't accuse Jagdi of gold mining, of logging, of farming, of fishing. What? Vice President don't like eating? I heard he eats, he likes to eat, but how is it nobody's accusing Jagdeo of getting into farming? Jagdeo is not a businessman, he's not a farmer. What are you doing, Vice President? You're just a politician? I can't tell my sons to hold Jagdeo as a role model because all you do is politics. I think Ali is a better role model because Ali is not just a politician, but he's thinking. He's a farmer. I want my sons to get into farming too. Because somebody got to cook the food when they produced it. And I'm telling women, girls, farmers are sexy because farmers are healthy. They eat what they grow. No junk food, no processed food. It's fresh food, and fresh food, especially fish. Let me give you a trick here. Let me give you a secret. A secret. Listen to me. For the ladies. You see, chicken is not that good for men. Chicken is really a meat that targets women. It's really, the nutrients that the chicken offers is more compatible with female anatomy, female biology. Chicken is not something that is sustainable to a man's being. Men require much more. Beef, pork, mutton, those kinds of category of meat is compatible to a man's biological system. Feeds his muscles. Keep him alive. It's good for his anatomy. Those categories. Chicken is not good for men. These other categories are good for men. Chicken is good for girls and women. It helps with the production of eggs. It helps with the entire female anatomy. Chicken is good. For men, not. What is good for men? Beef, pork, mutton, goat meat, these kinds of hardcore, masculine kind of meat for men. The secret I want to give here, seafood, shrimp, fish, crab, anything related to the sea is the secret to your sexuality, both men and women. Potency is in seafood. Potency. You want to have stress-free pregnancy, stress-free menstrual cycle. You know, you have no cramps, you have none of these things. Eat a lot of seafood. Eat a lot of seafood. Fish, shrimp, eat a lot of seafood, especially coming to your period, your menstrual cycle. Stay away from the chicken. Use more fish, more shrimp, more crab, more oysters before and during your period. For men, what helps your sex life? What keeps you potent? What keeps you hard and ready is seafood. At least every week for men, every week, mostly better on weekends. Use a lot of seafood. Fish, shrimp, crabs, oysters, whatever comes out the sea, whatever comes out the sea. That is the solution to you producing quality sperm, for you to lasting longer in bed, for you to having more firm erections. Seafood. Chicken doesn't help. Beef and seafood, you get China, you get India, the population rise. But a large percentage of the Hindus don't use beef, respectfully so. But they use a lot of seafood. That's my bit of secret to you. Men should not be consuming a large amount of chicken. That's for women to consume. Do you see the people who go a lot to the fast food restaurants? Drive around any of the fast food joints. Any of the fast food joints. KFC or any of the others. Who do you see shopping? Who do you see eating there? Girls and women. They lost that kind of stuff. You don't see men there. Go to the fish fries, the fish bars, the places that sell steaks and barbecue meat and fish fries and things like that. And you will see a lot of men, not women, a lot of men. Because nature has a way of communicating to us. Our taste buds seem to like this. I have a family who, let me not say, because the next thing they may want to target the guy and say, hey, you're a cousin to Dr. Prasad, But I got a relative in the fish business. He has a massive operation with the fry fish and chips and stuff like that. But I'm not going to call his name because they're going to target the guy. So I'll just leave it as that. A cousin of mine, my cousin. Nonetheless, so with all that I've said there, is so you understand. President Irfan Ali, his initiatives, is welcomed, is hugged and supported by the Guyanese people. He made loans affordable for farmers and business people. He himself is burdened with heavy loans that, yes, he will have generations to pay it back. But if the farm is successful and if it grows, I'm sure he can service the loans in a few years. But none of these initiatives you are independent of. None of these initiatives. You have to always keep taking loans. You can't run a sustainable financial business when you're in the farming industry. Sometimes you lose. Sometimes the bad weather damages your crops. Sometimes a disease comes and wipe out your whole harvest. But you can't just quit. So farmers are vulnerable to the forces of nature. So you have to always have a flow of financiers and loans that you can recoup and go again. Please stop paying attention to the lies coming from the Mohammeds. I thought he would have been arrested yesterday. I don't know, maybe Monday or tomorrow, I don't know. But at the end of the day, the Guyana police force, the Guyana government need to serve justice to the people who have suffered under the hands, under the bullet, under the cruelty of Azruddin Mohammed and his family. We can't wait on the CCJ because the CCJ has made it clear to us they're not interested in Guyana's democracy, of Guyana's supremacy. They're not interested in that. So whoever is manipulating that situation and causing the Bahamas to roam free, we can't trust that. But continually, you have all of these issues, all of these crimes that are being committed and fingered and involvement with Azruddin and his group and his team. But the law is not touching him. They're touching people connected to him, but not him. Mr. Nandalal, Vice President Jaglio, do something about it. The president can't do everything. Remember, he's a farmer, right? He has to run a country and to run his farm. Give him some slack, cut him some slack. He has these departments to do what needs to be done. Serve your government. Nonetheless, when you share this program, when you give your opinions in the comment section, disagree or agree, when you like the channel, like the show, like the broadcast, you are telling the opposition, go fuck themselves. And I would like you to continue to tell the opposition, Azruddin, the opposition parties, the liars in the PNC, I like when you tell them to go fuck themselves. And you don't have to say it in a sentence. You just have to like the channel, subscribe to YouTube channel, follow me on Facebook, on TikTok, on these channels. That's how you're telling them to go fuck themselves. That's how you're doing it. You have my blessings to do that. And for the matter of a question, I'm not a pastor. I am not a religious person. I'm not a pastor. Okay? The same way Muhammad is not human, I'm not a pastor. Until next time, share this live. I thank you for your attention, and I see you on the next broadcast. Goodbye.